Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Oh, is that clear?
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Can you? I got a little echo. I wonder if that's me. Let me see something.
I don't know, man.
All right, maybe let me try one more setting here. Hello? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. I think this mic is too complicated for me. I guess it's got so many buttons. I don't know what they all do. You mean the patch nerfed? The patch changed things, man?
They nerfed me, man.
What happened?
Nah, it's a good thing, man. They made the corners are playing real deep on streaks, so you can't beat them over the top.
They're playing better.
Yeah, I mean you can beat them underneath, but shit, that's better than giving up touchdowns. So it's a good deal, man. Looks like
So they definitely made some changes, huh?
it's always good, man.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just check something. All right, we're ready to go?
Yep.
All right, let's get it on and popping. So you and B Miles playing tomorrow?
Yeah, man. He has to play early, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
going to be a situation where I'm just playing tomorrow. Like we both had to download the patch, and his shit took forever. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, okay. Let me mute this out. The Polo Chronicles, huh?
Hey man, I did some polo research, man. Some polo research. Just a little bit.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, well we can.
I'm over here. You ready to roll?
Yeah. We're ready to go.
Do the honors, my man.
All right. Seems like we haven't been on the air in a long time, so the often imitated but never duplicated my host, the felonious monk. How you doing, man? How's everything going?
It's great, man. It's great. Having fun playing Madden, checking out this new patch.
Yeah, there were a lot of activity in the patch. It took about 20 minutes to download, so it was about a 5 GB file. So EA is on top of their game. I mean, would you say that?
Oh yeah, I mean you remember back in the day it used to be one patch like per Madden. You would get one like maybe a month or two after the game released, and then whatever that patch fixed, you were just stuck with for the rest of the game. So what is this like patch 3? I want to say.
It might be the third patch. Yeah, one came out when the game first arrived, and I think there was one other, and this is the third. You're correct. So
Yeah. So I mean I'm happy to see him. I'm happy to see him updating it regularly. I think last game we got 2, but I mean I remember back in the day, it was like, all right, major patch, that's all you got. Live with it.
Yeah. I think they're getting ready for the tournaments that they are promoting, and so they want the game to be in the best position. And so far, I've been pleased with it. I've been pleased from the beginning, and I don't know if that's a thought felt amongst the community, but I believe that the game is in the best place it's been, and they're making improvements. So overall, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, just quickly from my 10 minutes of practice, a lot of you will love to see that the motion defense is a lot better. The corners are playing much deeper, and I mean, I tested it against my corners, so it's pretty fast, but you could still kind of beat them with that motion every now and then. But now those corners are getting deep. I mean, it's going to open up some stuff underneath, but you're not going to give up those one-play touchdowns, which is a good thing. So. I haven't really had a chance to test the effect on the run game yet.
Yeah. That was one of the changes, that there was a defensive adjustment specifically for the stretch play, if I think is what I saw. So
yeah, I mean, I ran a couple of them, and it looks like that. I mean, what I saw, and it could just be I haven't tested enough, but it looked like that end on the side of the run is making a lot of penetration into the backfield, so it's kind of hard to get outside of him. So I think it's going to be a situation where you just got to cut it up more often, but we'll see, man. Changes are good. And I haven't had a chance to test the user picks, but I'd already noticed. I was just saying earlier in the chat to somebody, I don't even remember who, but I had noticed last night that from the last patch, the user interceptions in one-on-one situations are a lot higher than they used to be. So I'm assuming it's even better now.
Yeah, yep, I agree. So today's topics on the show will be the. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Yep, today's topics will be we're going between the lines on the 7-minute quarters, aka the Polo Diaries. That's topic one. Then we're going to talk about some season awards. We were very happy to see that the Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year had some tallies already. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And number 3 is the Power 5 is the next topic after that. And then we'll probably close out the show with the Stir of the Pot. I got a lot of entries this week.
We got some people participating again. I'm glad to hear that.
After last time, and we only had one reply, but now we're back up.
Are they appropriate?
They're always appropriate. One person said, "You can quote me directly," and he doesn't care. If you know it's him.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah, so we'll close out the show on that. So let's jump right into the between the lines, and I've been reading the morning papers, and every once in a while the media is talking about the 7-minute quarters and Polo throwing for 700 yards in a 7-minute quarter game. So you did some analysis. Is that true?
I did. I mean, I didn't do any really in-depth analysis. I just looked through to see if some of these claims that were being made by Polo about 7-minute quarters were true. That's all. So first and foremost, I mean, I don't know. Like, I firmly believe that it's pace, but looking at stats, like the first thing he mentioned was that he ran 68 plays against the Texans in 7-minute quarters, and I like just from experience, like around 50 plays is the number of plays you want to see. And stat-wise, it's not. It doesn't seem to be. The stats are on point. Let me start with that. Like, I just went back and looked at the last SML season. The leading scorer in the SML, team-wise, is my Falcons. Thank you very much.
Okay.
They're averaging about 31 a game. The leading scorer last year was about 34 in the last SML season on 6-minute quarters. So the scores are right on point. When you look at player stats, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is throwing for a lot of yards. Like, I can't deny the man's throwing for a lot of yards. But he's an aberration, and it's a big part. I think a big part of it is just because Polo doesn't run very well, and he passes the ball a ton.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you look at the stats, he's ran for like 386 yards total at this point.
And in 8 games, right? He's 7 games.
He may have played 7. I think he had a bye.
Yeah.
But if you look at yardage per game, like, he's averaging 354 a game. And next on the list, there's nobody else averaging more than 300 yards a game except for Vic, but he hasn't played the full amount of games. He's played 3 games. So everybody else is averaging right around 277 and less.
Listen, the points per game are on point. The 7-minute quarter actually came from EA. They sent out a communication that's how everything has been based on, and that's the number that they had advised for leagues to use. So.
Okay, I didn't know that. So that's good too. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, if you want to run the ball a lot, I like to see you to be able to give a running back, around 20 or 25 carries. And that's not, like, when we were playing on 6 minutes, it's not possible. You're going to run. You're going to have 14, 15 carries. If you do run that many times, you're going to pass like 3 or 4 times, and that's not how it should be.
No.
But back to Polo.
Go ahead.
So, but yeah, Rodgers is averaging 354 a game. Nobody is close. The guy has 15 interceptions. And what I've said repeatedly in the chat is, if you want to throw for that many yards, you can throw the ball all you want if you don't care about throwing interceptions. I mean, that's just the way it's going to work. But he hasn't run for many yards. He's only run for 390 some yards. But what he had said about the number of plays he was running was not entirely accurate.
Uh-oh. Okay, let's break this down, please.
Um, so pulling up
Well,
the schedule. Go ahead.
well, what I'm looking at here is, and as he had Rodgers for all the season, I think he got him around week
I think I
three
don't
or
know if he
so,
had him
right?
week 1 or not. I want
Yeah,
to say he had him week. Maybe I don't remember. I don't
yeah.
remember.
He did make the trade with Billy, and so I don't know if Rodgers' entire stat line is indicative of what Polo did, but I know Polo will reference the Giant game, and I think that's the anomaly, right? Because in that game, Arthur was also throwing it all over the lot, and that was just
Yeah,
one of those wild games.
you look at that game. Arthur was throwing over a lot. He ran 4 times. I think he said out of those 4 times he ran, I think he said 2 of them were quarterback sneaks. So you're going to get a lot of plays in a game like that. His Bears game, I think he mentioned he had run 68 plays or something like that, and it actually is not 68 plays he ran. See, he passed. Maybe it wasn't the Bears game. 35 passes, 12 rushes.
Yeah,
That's 47 plays. Maybe he said it was. I think he said it was against the Texans that he ran 68 plays. Whatever game it was, he said he ran 68 plays. He ran 58 plays. It wasn't 68. So it's a situation where 50 plays is right where you want to be. So the Texans game, I have that at 33 passes, 17, 19 rushes.
I mean,
So
listen.
it's not you're not running 70 plays in games here. I mean, you're the scores in these games, like he hasn't scored over 40 points in a single game. The scores are in the 30s.
Yeah,
There was one game I think he had 18 carries for 18 yards. So I mean, if you want to pass for 350 yards a game, you can, but you're
Go
not
for
going to
it.
run. You're not going to pass for 350 yards a game and run for 100 yards a game. Like
No.
all the people running for 100 yards a game are passing for right around 200, 250, which is right where you want to be.
Yeah, that
if you're
sounds
trying
like
to
a
be
football
balanced.
game to me. And he's averaging
Yeah.
23 points a game. I mean, I don't see it here. I mean,
I just don't. I mean, at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is probably going to pass for 5,000 yards, which is great, fine and dandy.
yeah, yeah.
But
And I
he's
think
not
that's
gonna
why
run
you
for
got him,
anything,
right? Right? That's
and
why you got
nobody
him.
else, and nobody else is on pace to throw for 5,000 yards. So I mean, it is what it is. That's
And
how he
he's
wants to play
the
that way, but I don't think it means.
second. He's the second ranked offense behind yours truly, actually. You.
Well, I don't know. He has a bot, so I can't.
Okay.
He may be first. But with that said, I mean, he's got a lot of turnovers. I mean, you look at excellence. Matt Ryan down here. You know, this Matt Ryan guy is over here leading the league in touchdowns and QB rate. So you know, that's efficiency right there. That's what we go for.
Well, and that is something to be said about that because you're top of your division. I don't want to toot your horn too much, but you're certainly that's a winning formula. The flip side of that argument is teams that run the ball as much as he passes the ball. There was a report in the Eagle-Cowboy game when Dallas played Philadelphia that the Eagles had the ball for 2 possessions in that game because they were unable to stop Zeke Elliott, and he just totally controlled the clock and won that game. And so imagine in the old method he would have had maybe 1 possession.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate. But I mean, that's exactly. He would have one possession
And a half. Yeah, that's
when you play. I mean, that's how it's been in the past.
Yeah.
But that's not. I mean, you need a little bit more possessions than that. But
the game
I've said
feels
this many
fuller to
times.
me. It feels
It
fuller.
feels fuller.
Yeah.
You have it's not like a situation where you get down 2 scores and you're like, all right, this
You got to
game's over.
panic. Yeah, you got to panic.
Yeah. You got time to come back. And the stats are not inflated from what I can tell. I mean, that yards per carry are inflated, but that doesn't have anything to do with the time. That just has to do with, I think they need to tweak the run a little bit, and we'll see if these recent changes did anything. But, I mean, as John Clayton has always said, at least the SML John Clayton, turnover differential and pounding the rock are formulas for success in this league. And if you look at the leading rushers, I got to go down. We got Redskins, Steelers, Falcons, Cowboys, Rams, and Raiders. And then you got the Seahawks, who are an anomaly in there, and the Browns. and the Cardinals. So as you go on that list, everybody on that list has a winning record. And then you look at the bottom, you got Chiefs, Jets, Giants, Patriots, Vikings.
Yeah. Well, there you have it.
So, I mean,
yeah, there's something
pound
to
the
that,
rock,
right?
guys. When you get nervous and when the playoffs start, that pounding the rock helps, man.
Yeah, cold weather sets in. The wind's blowing more. I believe it, and that we will see. We will see. All right. Do you want to move on to the next topic? Have we talked?
Sure. Let's move it on. Move it along.
The season award preview. I want to kind of highlight some of the players that have been doing some great things. It's been really difficult to follow the league during work hours, obviously, when we should be working. We typically would kind of jump into one of the websites to see what's going on, but we haven't been able to do that. So we'll do that now with the league and talk about some of the performances and who's doing well in terms of yearly awards, player, MVP. Let's talk about MVP first. When I look at the MVP list, I see Le'Veon Bell on the top of the list, followed by Ezekiel Elliott and Matt Ryan. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, those are three good picks. Like, I really can't complain about those three good picks.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think, Elliott, I think, is second in rushing. Bell is first in rushing. Both of them have a ton of TDs, and both of them are on teams that, like, really depend on them doing that. Like, Sober, last time I looked at the stats, Sober had more rush yards than he had pass yards. So he's winning games because of Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell, Squirrel has never been, or isn't this year, has not been like a pass-heavy guy. And Le'Veon Bell has 11 TDs. He's averaging 6.8 yards a carry, almost 1,000 yards at the halfway point. So I respect those picks. And Bill and Murray, too. Murray has 10 TDs. I know you like to pound it. I can respect that.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's
top five. And Andy Dalton, number 5. Andy Dalton at number 5.
I don't know what Andy Dalton is doing. I haven't looked at Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Let me go look at Andy Dalton.
Yeah, well, and while you're looking him up, let me just kind of round out the other top 10. Todd Gurley at number 6. Tevin Coleman, who is he or he's an Atlanta Falcon still. Julio Jones, number 8. I think there are 3 Falcons on this list. And then, I'm sorry. 4 Falcons. Vic Beasley Jr. is number 9, and Andrew Luck is
player
10.
on the list.
Yeah, and what is he doing that he's on the top 10 for MVP?
He's just leading the league in sacks and forced fumbles. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all he's doing.
I don't really know if that's warrants him in the MVP conversation, but that's all he's doing.
So what's Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton is playing a good ball, man. 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 2,100 yards. I believe he is probably second or, well, maybe not second. He's in the top 5 or 6 in QB rating. He's playing good. I mean, the Bengals have been a surprise, so I can buy that. You know what I think the sham is on that list?
Who?
Why is Julio Jones 8? And I'm not even going to say, okay, Julio should be above. I'm not going to say he should be above Le'Veon Bell or Zeke Elliott. I mean, these guys are important, but this dude is behind my running back, Tevin Coleman. Like, why is he behind him?
These are some good questions. I don't know what the barometer is here and how are there. I mean, I can understand Le'Veon and Zeke and even Matt Ryan because he's throwing it to Julio. But you're right. I would think maybe he would be in that 4-5 slot, perhaps.
He has to go harder.
Yeah. So as if we need him to go any harder. But let's move to the individual offensive. Are you okay moving on?
We want to talk about Coach of the Year?
Oh yeah, that's right. Coach of the Year. That is the other choice there. Let's go. Wow. Demetrius Turner, a.k.a. Felonious. I mean, listen, I'm tired of talking about you. I don't want everybody to think I'm a homer or he's jocking Felonious again, but this is, you're at the top of the list.
Turner,
yeah.
Demetrius Turner, we found him out there on the scrap heap. He was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
We told him to clean himself up and come to work. We had seen some of his, some of his work on offense, and we felt like he could add a dimension and maximize the offense, and he's done a good job so far. That's all I got to say.
Now, if he wins Coach of the Year, is there an extra XP that the coach gets?
There are coach goals. Winning Coach of the Year, yes, we'll give him XP that can be used to increase the amount of training points you can get, increase your chances of signing free agents, and increase your chances of, I want to say there is something there that increases the chances that you can, something about contract negotiations or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, there are, the packages are still there, and the coaches have goals like players have goals, and you will be able to buy things that will help your team if you win Coach of the Year.
Wow. Yeah.
Player acquisition, player retention.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and player progression or thing. You'll get XP to buy that kind of stuff if you win Coach of the Year. So,
Oh, wow.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like. Well, let's talk about the numbers 2 coach here. We don't really. I'm trying to think, when is the last time we've even talked about the Washington Redskins on the show? I don't think we
the
have.
last time we were talking about the Washington Redskins, we were talking about how
he lost the love, right?
They lost the love of the game.
Yeah, that's right.
He's hanging around out there, man. He's hanging around out there.
Winning will do that, won't it? Won't it? Yeah.
It tends to. It tends to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I find it interesting that Kubiak is a coach and Rudy was going so fast. But.
Yeah, I guess these folks jumped in real quick when they created the league and grabbed. I
want to talk about Hugh Jackson too, man. I don't want to go all the way down this list.
Yes, yeah. This is one of the surprise teams in the league. I don't know if it's a surprise. It's a surprise not because of the owner, but it's a surprise because of the team. That this was the 31st pick or something,
Worst
right?
Team on the game.
Yeah.
And I'm tired. I'm so tired. And it's not a lot of people now, but I'm so tired of people downing on Smiles, man. I don't know what more we got to do.
You won't hear that from me. I mean, he's definitely one of our rivals as coach of the Raiders right now. But I mean, he's 6-2, and I think that's tops in the AFC, tied with San Diego and Oakland.
6-2 with 2 firsts, to my knowledge. I don't think he traded one of those.
Yeah, so the future is bright, and I think. We're watching that division very closely. I think they're actually playing Dallas right now as we speak. I think that game might be in.
Oh man, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, hopefully it's on Twitch. I didn't see any indication that it was, but hopefully they stream that one. All right, let's jump to these awards.
Yes, sir.
Offense.
AFC first?
Yeah, let's go with the AFC Offensive Player of the Year, and there's Le'Veon again. I think this is why Squirrel paid the top dollar to get the Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't think it was for the run. I thought it was for what Brown could do for you and Roethlisberger.
I think his initial intention. Well, I know his actual intention was to trade Bell. But after he saw what a beast he was, he decided against that. And it looks like that was a good idea. The only thing about Bell is him winning all these awards and getting all this XP isn't gonna do any good because he doesn't need to improve anything.
Yeah, he's already 99, right?
I mean, I guess you could make him faster if you wanted to. I don't know, make him catch like a real receiver, but he's gonna have the XP to do it.
Yeah, what more can you do with Bell? Was he trying to trade Bell?
Oh yeah. But you know he was trying to trade him for like 7 first rounders and firstborn kids and stuff. Like it wasn't like a even trade.
Speaking of firstborn, we like to congratulate Coach Squirrelbird on his expecting bundle of joy coming in 2017, having a baby.
Yes.
Yeah, so
congrats on him for the third. That's his third one, and also congrats on Miles because he got married.
Yes, absolutely. We did see a photo post of him at the wedding with Polo celebrating the nuptials. Congratulations to both. Those are good things.
This is dedication here. He got married Saturday,
Yeah, and he's on
Monday he
Madden.
was
Yeah.
back in the chat and he was like, I'm back. Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's
yeah,
run.
yeah, and speaking of that, his one of his two losses was a sim, so he's really didn't
Yeah.
only he's only lost one human game.
Good deal. So yeah, so looking at offensive player of the year, you got it's running backs, man. The media doesn't like anything but running backs. Bell, Murray, and Murray
Yeah,
are
and
the first three.
yeah, let's go
And
to
then you get some quarterbacks.
yeah, I see Dalton and Melvin Gordon. Let's go to defensive player of the year and Emmanuel
Emmanuel
Ogba from the
Agba.
Cleveland Browns is on the top of the list.
I don't know
Followed.
what I don't know. I haven't been following him. What we can let's do it like this. You read them off, and I'll be in here digging in the stats because some of this
Yeah,
stuff I don't even know what these
yeah.
guys
Like
are
what?
doing.
Like how is he this at the top of the list? So we got to. The stats must tell us this. You're right. So the first three is Emmanuel Ogba, Cleveland Browns. Next is T.J. Green of the Indianapolis Colts. I haven't
T.J.
heard.
Green is going to be a problem. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
tell you why. First, I mean, Ogba's. It looks like he's second in the league in sacks. He's got 7 sacks,
Oh,
three forced
sack
fumbles. So he is
Wow.
that rusher that the
Okay.
Browns have been looking for.
Uh,
And he just looks like he's a big key to their success.
wow. And then after that is T.J. Green on the Colts. What is T.J. Green doing?
TJ Green is a guy who I looked at on Renegade's team a while ago.
Hmm.
He's 6'3",
Wow.
93 speed, 77 zone, 78 tackles, 74 man, and 82 hit power. So he is a physical specimen. All right, this dude is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. He's leading the league in interceptions. Got a
Wow.
sack to boot.
Wow. T.J.
He's
Green.
tied for the league lead. He's got 3 forced fumbles. Like this dude,
Oh God.
and like I told you guys earlier,
Yeah.
rookies that win awards
Yeah.
are going to see a trait increase, and they're going to have a ton of XP.
Mm.
So if you don't know who TJ Green is right now, you will
You
know
will.
after this season is over with.
And they're showing him with a 71 overall rating here, so he's gonna get
Yep.
quite a boost.
Well, yeah, he's already got the intangibles, but if he wins these awards, he's gonna be a nasty dude.
And the third person is Trey Waynes on Cleveland, another Cleveland Brown
Trey Waynes he got Trey Waynes from the
Minnesota.
Vikings.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So
was that a wedding gift? How did he get Trey Waynes?
was that in that? Was that? I think that was in that. Was that the Sam Bradford? No, that was the
The
Joe Hayden
Hayden?
trade. I
Joe
think.
Hayden. Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe Hayden went over. That's right. And rounding out the defensive player of the year are two Oakland Raiders, Alden Smith and Ben Heaney.
Hey, those are
Top
Oakland Raiders.
five.
So I wanna know why Alden Smith is there. Where is Khalil Mack?
This is a great question, and I've been talking offline with one of the other owners about this, and this is a defensive coordinator issue. This is the defensive coordinator not putting his players in the right position to be effective, and that's where that blame goes. We've not done a good job of, we've been trying to find in packages where he can get loose and not happening. So more work to be done.
Good deal. Good deal.
All right, let's go to Offensive Rookie of the Year, AFC. We'll kind of pick this up, and another Cleveland Brown, Darius Jackson, is at the top of the list, followed by Will Fuller on the Texans.
Darius Jackson is 642 yards rushing, 8 TDs as a rookie, 91 yards a game.
Yeah, 66
Uh,
overall.
Yeah, and I believe that he is he's a what?
He's a 66 overall.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
He's got 92 speed and 87 truck. Another
Yeah.
guy who, if he holds,
Yeah.
he'll come up real. I mean, that's a lethal combination of stats right there. He'd be a tough dude.
And followed by Will Fuller. That's the first time we talked about Will Fuller this year, the rookie. He's second, and then third is Paxton Lynch of the Denver Broncos.
Paxton Lynch has had some struggles, but it's good to see that he's working hard to improve. And then Fuller, I think Fuller would have probably been in line for a much bigger, huger payday had Coach King still been around because he was featuring him a good amount. But
Yeah.
I mean, he's a speedster, so
Yeah, yeah.
Not surprising to see him.
Yeah, changing ownership, changing philosophy in Houston, and they're coming along. And rounding out the top five was Corey Coleman on Cleveland and Roby Anderson of the Jets, Jets.
Good deal. Good
All
deal.
right, all right. Let's keep it moving. AFC. Let's go to the. Let's jump to the NFC really quick and go to offensive player of the year, Ezekiel Elliott, Julio. Now, Julio Jones is on the top of the list here. He's number two behind Zeke, followed by Gurley, Matt Ryan, and Tevin Coleman. Three Falcons in the top five.
I don't get it, man.
Yeah.
Some media hatred going on with Julio, but you know it is what it is. And Zeke is another. I was just telling Muhammad today. I was like, man, if y'all let Zeke get those awards,
yeah, he's going to be.
He's got that superstar trait.
Yeah, he's going to have. He's going to be 100. Yeah.
You're going to be getting exactly. It's going to be 100.
Yeah. His overall is going to be 100.
35 carries a game from that dude.
Yeah. So. That's going to be trouble. Defensive player of the year. It's getting ridiculous here. Vic Beasley Jr. is on the top, followed by Robert Alford of the Falcons, followed by Desmond Trufant of the Falcons. I mean,
that's just, I'm not. I love my boys, but that's just bullshit. Beasley belongs up there because Beasley, like I said, he's got 8 sacks. He's leading the league in sacks, and he's got like 6 forced fumbles, which is first in the league in forced fumbles.
How is this possible?
Hey, Beasley comes off the edge like a monster, man. Beasley comes off the edge. We're building him up. He's a hard dude to block. And then Alford is tied for the league in interceptions. It's funny because they have that issue where your number one corner doesn't line up on the number one receiver, and I always forget to move Trufant over there. But it doesn't matter. Like wherever I put Robert Alford, the dude just makes plays. He just intercepts the ball, man. I don't know what it is. So he's deservingly. He's up there deservingly. He's just not. He's an older player. He's short. He's fast. He's not very good. But the dude just he's got his head in the game, man. So I can't complain.
Yeah, bringing up the rear is Alec Ogletree of the Washington Redskins and Brooks Reed of the Atlanta Falcons.
Brooks Reed had one game. That's nonsense. He doesn't deserve to be there.
Oh man, I don't know what's going on here.
Ogletree, I believe, is I want to say that's Bahamas guy who's the edge rusher.
Yeah, he's number 4 here.
Or is he not? No, I think that might be. I don't know who this guy is. I feel bad.
Yeah, Alec Ogletree. We have to kind of do our homework on him, but he's certainly somebody. Listen, the Redskins are quietly 6-2, battling with Dallas.
Linebacker.
Yeah, he's an MLB. Okay.
This is Bahamas user probably 2 sacks, 3 interceptions.
Okay.
So yeah, that's some good stuff, man. I see a guy. I think he's a 3-year experience. So yeah, I think that's probably his user.
This is Falcon thing. Something's wrong with the game, and how could you have 7 guys in the top 8? It's ridiculous. All right, let's go to.
There's a Falcon bias.
This is ridiculous. It should have never got that team in the first place. All right, let's go to offensive rookie of the year, and there's that man again, Ezekiel Elliott, followed by Keith Marshall, Carson Wentz, Laquan Treadwell, and here's Jared Goff, number 5. Anything jump out there?
It's a bunch of rookies in there, man. I'm not gonna keep pounding the Ezekiel Elliott thing, but y'all better stop that boy.
Yeah, Keith Marshall.
Wentz, I like to see Wentz up there because I'm an Eagles fan.
Personal reasons, yeah.
Yeah, but hey, there's a lot of good rookies in the NFC. Goff is another guy who's gonna. I mean, those are gonna be the best players in the league in 3 or 4 in 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, this is trouble there. And on the defensive side, defensive rookie of the year, there's a Washington Redskins, Kendall Fuller on top, followed by Devondre Campbell, then Sua Cravens, and bringing up 4 and 5, Sheldon Rankins, and a Carolina Panthers sighting in James Bradbury.
Who was the guy for the Redskins who was up top?
Kendall Fuller, a
That's
72
his
rated.
cornerback.
Yeah, these Redskins are making some
He
noise
has
here.
he has 1 sack and 1 interception. He must
Yeah,
have had
well,
a
what's
very
he do?
important sack.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to have to do some research on how these folks are getting rated here
He's got some
because,
tackles. He's got 39 tackles. I don't really know. I told you the media is kind of wild with these awards at this point, but it's early. Like I said, I mean we're real early in the season. This stuff is subject to change.
okay. All right. All right. Let's move on to our next topic. I think the third and topic before we get to stir the pot is this five. I'll let you announce it here.
Yeah, so I just the general idea because I'm not able to do power rankings all the time. I think it's worth to just I mean the actual game does power rankings and they're usually completely off, but this week I thought they were pretty good overall. Just to talk about the top 5 teams in the league as ranked
Okay.
by the game. Some thoughts on
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah. Let's go look at that.
and right now, so it looks like they have the Falcons number 1 at 7-1. I think my boys have, despite the loss to the Raiders, have been pretty consistent recently. Number 2 is the Chargers with Ratchet at 6-2. He had a big win against the Broncos last week to avenge one of his losses.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Number 3 is the Cleveland Browns at 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, the Oakland Raiders. I don't know. I would probably put the Raiders ahead of the Browns just because of strength of schedule, but I do agree with those teams being in there. Number 5 is the Texans, and I don't know if I would have the Texans at number 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could argue the Redskins, Cowboys, or Bucks should probably be in that position based on their strength of schedule and who they've beaten.
Mm-hmm.
But so if I had to go, I would say Falcons, Chargers, Raiders, Browns, Cowboys, because I remember the Cowboys shut the Redskins out, and they are, I believe, leading the league ahead of the Raiders in points allowed. Yes, they've only allowed 75 points so far this season. They're one fewer game than you, though. One fewer
Yeah.
game than you.
Yeah, I think if we work that backwards, I would agree that the Texans are. The book is still out on the Texans because of the change in ownership. They did play Denver, and I don't think they played well in that game. And that was sort of like if you're following NCAA football and you play one of a tough team, and then you don't show up, you kind of drop in the rankings, right? And
Yeah,
then
they did not win that game against the Broncos. As a matter of fact, I don't think it was close. I think it was
no,
a pretty big win.
no, that was
So
a big win
yeah, you
for
can't.
Denver.
You have to dock them for that.
I
So yeah,
think
I
you're
wouldn't.
right. I think you're right about
I
the
wouldn't.
Redskins and Cowboys, though. I mean, Cowboys can make the case to be in the top 5, if you ask me.
Yeah, they had that really ugly loss to the Packers. But
Packers.
again, the Redskins had a really ugly loss to the Cowboys head to head. So I would probably put the Cowboys ahead of the Redskins there.
Let's go to the next grouping of the Bengals, Colts, Cardinals, and Rams. The Bengals we talked about earlier. Is it a surprise? I mean, they did come on late in Madden 16, and now in Madden 17, they're fighting for that division title with Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I mean, he did come on late. He did not. He didn't make a lot of noise from last Madden. It's
Yeah.
not, league-wide noise, but look, Dalton's playing solid football, like you said. I mean, he's in the MVP conversation. He's playing efficient football. They have a good record. They're second. That division has actually turned out to be a pretty good division if you look at it. I mean, you got the Bengals sitting there. I think they're what 6-2, and then you got
Browns 6-2, Bengals 5-3.
Brown 5-3. Okay, and then the Steelers are what 5-3. I think the Steelers are 5-3 too.
And for what it's worth, the Ravens, I want to talk about them because I saw a surge by Lump Chunky and the Ravens, and then it got snuffed out by the Steelers, and I was very surprised at that score to see Pittsburgh score that many points on Baltimore. I thought Lump Chunky had gotten his team to play harder. I saw them block a punt, a field goal, I'm sorry. And so that was a big loss, but that division is a lot of uncertainty, but Brown's still on top.
Yeah, the Ravens Chunky's one of our new owners. Um, I think he's at this point he's still adjusting to the competition level of this league, and not to say that this league is top-notch competition, but I mean it's a solid league, and if you've never played in a league before, like if you've just played ranked games or
Yeah.
offline franchise, getting into a league like this can be kind of a culture shock.
Yeah.
So he was able to pull off some good games in there in that stretch. And but just to see what the score was with his in the game with Squirrelbird just lets you know that. And Squirrelbird is not, I would consider him kind of like middle of the road here. At least last Madden it was. And to get things like that against Squirrelbird, oh my God, just lets you know that you got some work to do.
What about this next Colts and the Cardinals? Are we? Let's talk about the Cardinals first. Disappointed?
I'm disappointed, yes, because his team is elite on defense. Like it's ridiculous if you look at that team.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's lately he's become a lot more consistent and like in the argument in chat today. He's in first place in the division or tied for first place. Ron has a tiebreaker over him, but I didn't expect him to have 3 losses at this point.
And 159 points he's given up. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, it's just
that defense. Yeah.
I'm not convinced. He actually played. He's got some tough games coming up. He's got Lon's game again. I think he plays. I think he already played J Mouse and beat him. So he still had to play B Mouse. He still had to play me. So we'll see what these Cardinals are about. And then Renegade, always tough. He's dropped some games here and there that he probably should have won. But you also got to consider we're in year 1. The Colts are not a very good team, so it's not going to be a situation where I expect him to just come in and dominate everybody either. So, but he'll be in the playoff hunt, but he may be a year away from really meeting his potential in this game.
Rams, Panthers, Vikings, and Packers.
The Panthers have not. They start out pretty fast, but they've been kind of slow. So
Panthers.
I don't know what's going on.
That was the number 5 pick in the draft, I think, right? Or number 4 or 5.
Yeah, they are.
Do we expect more?
I expect more.
Yeah.
They're 2 games back in the division.
Yeah.
And they're in 3rd place, so they're not looking like a playoff team right now. I know they've had an injury to at least Kelvin Benjamin.
So
get together time.
So last time we talked about the philosophy in Los Angeles and what the Rams were doing with Todd Gurley. It's been a couple of weeks. We've seen in more presence by Gurley, but the Buffalo loss. Are we overstating the Rams or underestimating the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, I think it's a little of both. We're definitely underestimating the Bills because the Bills have some tough wins in there.
Yes, they do.
In the power rankings, they have won some games that you would not expect them to win, and they've been playing everybody tough for the most part. So that's part of it. But the thing, and Rams are another team where defensively you expect them to play defense, but they're a couple of weapons short on offense too. Like they could really use a really reliable, explosive. They've got Tavon Austin who's explosive, but he's not really that reliable. They could really use another weapon on offense to really take the pressure off him. They could really use another year of development for Goff. So I think you're going to continue to see inconsistent play from them until they get those things. But with that said, they're still right there when it comes to the division, and it sounds like there seems to be like some psychological warfare going on between Coach Lawrence and Coach Gabe right now. And we'll see how that affects this divisional race.
I hope that game is televised. I hope they do it some justice and show us that one. It looks like the Vikings and the Packers are right next to each other on this list, and
that's one of the best finishes right there. That I can't wait to see how that one ends up because they go at each other hard in the chat.
Yes.
And whoever loses that game is going to be mad.
Well,
it's going to determine that division.
Well, I want to talk about the Packers briefly. There was a lot of pregame chatter before they played Atlanta. Then something in terms of a mood and emotion I read in my news feed that the Packers just didn't feel right after the Carolina loss in real life. It sort of brought him down and used that as perhaps a reason why the Atlanta Falcons scored at will on them.
I mean, I don't know what it was. All I'm saying is, and look, I'm not gonna sit here in front like I don't find stuff that is effective and use the hell out of it. I'm not even gonna front. That's me, okay? But at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, like there are simple tips that you can do
Mm-hmm.
to prevent shit from happening. And the two
Mm-hmm.
biggest things, and this is for everybody, like this is not me just sitting here trying to act like I'm super good or anything like that, but this is just stuff that people need to know. Number one, you know what play somebody just called. Like I can see that. Everyone can see that. Okay.
Right.
So if I'm looking and it's cover two, cover two, cover two, cover two, then I'm thinking, maybe he's gonna call cover two this next play. But the other thing is you can disguise your plays. Like if you base a line, if you call cover two and you do not base a line, your cornerbacks are going to be square up with the receivers like 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. So that tells anybody who looks at pre-snap reads, number one, they're either in cover two zone or they're in cover two man. Those are the two. Those are the only two options. So if you've already called cover two 10 times in the game and you come out like that, then the chances are you're in fucking cover two.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
anyway, but if you base a line, your cornerbacks will back off like about 10 yards and they'll turn like facing the inside, which is a look that you have when you come out in cover three. So if you take that simple step, then the person you're playing against, if they read defenses pre-snap, are ultimately going to be thinking, this might be cover three, which can bait interceptions, can force it brings a lot more stuff into the equation versus the person coming out and knowing exactly what defense you're in. So people need to think about stuff like that when they're playing, because I mean there are people who play this game who can look at how you come out and know what you're in if you don't baseline from time to time just to throw them off. So
Yeah.
take it or leave it.
All right. The school was in session. I hope the Packers were listening. All right. Let's go to Jaguars. Bring up the mid. We're at the midpoint of the league. Jaguars, Titans, Bills, Ravens, Giants. Anybody jump out there? I mean, the Bills at 5-4. Titans, new owner. Criminal in the Jaguars. Another early pick at 4-3.
I would, I mean, not a lot to say. We already talked about the
Yeah.
Bills. The Jags have been a little all over the place to this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Um, so those are some teams that are at a crossroads right now, trying to figure out whether they're going to be in the playoffs or they're going to be on the outside looking in. And
Building
like I
for next
said,
season. Yeah.
take care of the ball, take care of the ball, win those games. If you can't win, start thinking about next year.
All right, Dolphins, Eagles, Broncos, 49ers in the next batch. The Eagles, disappointing, Monk. I have to
Disappointing,
say
big
that.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was a
Started
playoff
out
team last
strong.
year. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that team has some issues. They were able to do some offseason moves that kind of add some talent, but that team has to do some, they need to build some players before they're going to be ready to really make some noise. But I mean, it is what it is. The Broncos disappointing too. But I thought they were showing some strides of turning stuff around after that win against the Chargers, but then they went and dropped that next game against the Chargers, and they are in a hole in that division. I know they've got. I think don't the Raiders and the Broncos play this week?
That game is tomorrow night. Late. It's going to be late
Okay.
night. We have some traveling to do, but we're going to hope to get that in. We've got some
All right. Well,
scheduling conflicts. Yeah.
that's going to be a good one, but that's a must win for them. If they lose that game, being
Yeah.
4 games back in that division is say goodbye. Good
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
It's over.
yeah, yeah. It's a tough division, the AFC West, and then bringing up the rear, the Chiefs, Jets, Saints, Lions, Bears, and the shocking. This is the shocker. The Patriots at 0-8 are at the bottom of this list.
The thing about the Patriots, I am shocked to see them with no wins. I did not expect that.
Yeah, this
Because Pedro is a solid coach.
yeah.
But the thing is, like, it's one thing to pick up this game after the last Madden. It's another thing to pick up this game after how many Madden has it been? A lot. So you are not only adjusting to this Madden, but you are adjusting to all the changes in Madden over the last what 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
I mean, the
yeah.
de-emphasis of the users, the de-emphasis of man, I don't know if it's purposely de-emphasized, but man coverage. Hit stick has been, I think the hit stick has been a big loss. I don't feel like it's an element at all in this game.
Nah, nah.
Um, so it is. I mean, there's changes this dude has to endure. So I'm hoping that next year, after having a chance to put some time into that team, we will see a difference.
All right, let's give you some quick updates on some scores before we go to stir the pot. I'm just going to kind of take a look and see if I see any scores out there. Looks like. Do we see? It looks like the Cowboys are down 10-3 to the Browns in the third quarter. I don't know if it's televised. I don't really see that yet. And
I don't believe it is. I don't know why it's not.
yeah, that game is that's like a primetime game. I hope they.
Yeah, that's probably one of the
Yeah,
games of the week.
yeah. Hopefully, Smiles turned on his camera for that one. All right, let's go to stir the pot. We've got some good submissions this week, and let's jump right in it. For those that are new, we've got some new owners in the league, and if you haven't been a part of Stir the Pot, it's where you can anonymously send quotes in. You will not be quoted unless you want to be, and you could say pretty much anything you want. Stir the pot. Let's jump right in. Number one, where does the over-under start for the Cardinals roster spot in 2018 and beyond? Now, that's pretty funny because we didn't talk about this, but they traded for Tom Brady this week.
Yeah.
Is this a questionable move? I mean, now you've got Carson Palmer and Tom Brady. Do you need both of them?
Sense. No, you don't. But I mean, it makes sense because obviously he's worried that one of them is going to retire, and he's assuming that he's going to get lucky and one of them is not going to retire. What it does is it puts off this decision about the quarterback, which is a decision that's ultimately going to have to be made by the Cardinals. Maybe if he gets lucky, it puts it off for a year.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just interested in what that cap is going to look like, and I'm interested in what the cap for the Dolphins is going to look like. Those are the two cap issues that I really want to see after this season is over with.
Yes.
Coming seasons, if not after this season.
Yeah, that is true because I'm assuming both of those players are probably $20 million players, Palmer and Tom Brady, right? I mean.
Oh yeah, they're both making all the money. So I mean, right? But the thing is they're not like Brady comes over without a penalty because his bonus is being paid by the Patriots. It's a good move by the Patriots to trade him because obviously,
yeah,
he's gonna quit or die. But I mean, we'll see how that works out. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can understand why he did it, but at the same time, it is going to be interesting.
All right. Number two. Another Arizona quote. Will Arizona be the first team in the SML to have multiple two-way starters like they are a high school varsity team? No respect being shown to the champion Cardinals, we're seeing.
Look, I want to see what these dudes are gonna do, man. It's gonna be interesting to see it. I mean, like they're turning it on now. We'll see, but they are one of the most active teams I've ever seen in this league in a season. I mean, I just feel like they have traded every pick that they own throughout. Probably, I know they traded all their 2017 picks and all their 2018 picks. They traded their 2018 first and second earlier. So that's a lot to do, not knowing what these rookies are going to look like either. So.
Yeah. All right, number 3. Did Gabe take the trash out yet? I don't know.
This is that whole rivalry right there is one of my favorite rivalries in the league right now, man. That Rams
we
Cardinals rivalry.
we got to do rivalry weeks and talk about some of the great rivalries that we have. That's definitely one of them. Can't wait to see that game. Number 4, it says Ratchet is who Lons was supposed to be in this Madden.
Oh man.
Wow, that is an interesting quote. So,
I mean, like we've already said that with Lons is somewhat disappointing.
yes,
Ratchet. I am very impressed with Ratchet this Madden.
yes,
That dude is precise with his passing.
yes,
He makes his reads.
yes,
Defense is not to be sniffed at. He is.
yes.
I mean, I didn't get to play him. I think the one time I played him last Madden was, and he had the 49ers when he first came in, right?
Had the 49ers, and I think he went over to the AFC and was like
Jags.
Jacksonville or something. Yeah,
Yeah. So I played him when he had the 49ers, and you can't tell anything about a guy playing with the 49ers.
right,
But he had some success with the Jags, and he's shown in your division
Oh my God.
playing with the big dogs
Oh man.
that he can play with anybody. So hats off to that guy.
Yeah, hats off to the Chargers, who have had some injuries with Benjamin, and I think Jason Verrett got hurt, and he's picked up some waiver wires. So he's on top of the heap. He's winning the division based on tiebreakers right now, and Lines is still, right in the thick of things at 4-3.
That's
All
a
right.
funny comment, though.
Yeah,
I would have
that-
expected Lons to be
Yes.
more dominant.
Yeah, especially in the he's one of our lab partners, and he's a handful. So we expect Lines to be there when the dust settles. Next, Billy Harvey reminds me of a golden girl. His bedtime is at 8:30. His team is old, and his offense makes you want to wear a knit sweater. Booker T and him should get up with a Metamucil and prunes party. Wow. I brought Booker T into this one. And I was told that you can quote me, and Polo said, yeah, I said it. I said it. So
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Billy's offense, I will say, is not as boring to play against as it was last year.
is it different than the curl flats with the slant coming from the tight end? Because now
He
he's
runs
got
a lot of
AP,
drags.
right?
Yeah, he runs a lot of drags. He runs AP a lot, which you should do. He didn't really run the ball that much last Madden. He runs the ball more. He runs a lot of drags. He does not roll out. He did not roll out against me. I don't remember rolling out one time. So that part of his offense may be going. And Billy Harvey's been rolling out for longer than I've been born, probably. I mean, Billy Harvey's been rolling out forever. So to get rid of that in his offense, I'm sure it was a hard habit to break, but it may be gone.
We will see. Billy Harvey was quoted as being exploited as not elite, and so he's got some ways to go. We'll see against that Minnesota who can win that division. I think it's between those two. Lions.
I
new owner.
I cannot wait to see that one fully
No.
develop.
All right, next. It says the defending champ is quietly about to wake up all the old folks. Tom Brady just brought experience to the best team in the league.
I know. We all know Gabe did that one.
If you guys
I'm
don't,
pretty sure there's no one out there that thinks Gabe is the best player in the league right now. But I love the confidence. I love the confidence.
yeah, it was definitely appears to be Gabe. We will keep him anonymous as the rules dictate on Stir the Pot. Next, the Eagles are like an alcoholic that says they are going to turn it around, and then you see them at the bar at night. and I think I know where they get this from. The Eagles coach will come on the board and says he's back, he's figured it out, and then you see something happen where he's just blown out with an Eagle defense is not bad. They should be doing better,
Their
right?
defense is pretty good. They
Yeah.
have some issues at corner, but you should have a hard time running on them. And you should have a hard time. I mean, their safeties are pretty decent. I think I don't even know. Like Clutch was a tough player last year. It's one of those things where early in Madden, sometimes on one day you feel like, okay, I got this all figured out, and then the next week it's just like, all right, I'm seeing this defense for the first time. What am I supposed to do with it? And I don't know if that's what's going on. I haven't watched any of his tape. I've seen his scores. I think the Redskins beat him pretty bad, and obviously against the Cowboys, he had a tough time stopping the run. So some stuff you got to see a couple times before you really know how to react to it on a consistent basis.
I
So
think
maybe,
in
I think he'll pull it together.
I think in season 2 we're going to see a lot more uh, teams emerge as they get in the hang of 17 and put some more time in. I just these Eagles are too good of a quality coach for them to be where they're at, so we expect them to be back.
Yep.
All right, number 8. How many first round picks does Bahama have, and why do we let this happen every Madden?
My last talk with him, I want to say he said he had 4.
4 number 1 picks.
I'm pretty sure he has 4. No less than 3. I'm pretty sure he has 4.
Yeah.
And why does it happen? Because Bahama will trade his best players over like 26, 27. They can have like one flaw,
hmm
like Josh Norman. I don't know why I thought it, but Josh Norman is one of those players where you're like, he's not gonna trade Josh Norman. He just got that guy. He's got a big contract. There's no way he's trading Josh Norman. And the next thing you know, Josh Norman's traded. Basically because his speed was already like, I don't know if it ended up being 88 on the game, or I know it was 90 at one point, but he deemed cornerbacks with less than 90 speed useless. So he's got a player like that who he knows he can get a big haul for. He's gonna trade him. And then this first season is a season where he amasses those picks. And then for him, I think another part of it is for him is that like the game is a lot more fun for him when he's playing with people being drafted and stuff. So he doesn't have any allegiance to the guys who are already on his team. He's trying to amass those picks and then go from there. So he's gonna have 4 picks, and he's gonna get some good players, and that's just the way crap goes, man. Every year.
Yeah, like a middle-aged man, he likes him young.
Exactly.
Next.
He's gonna relocate his team to Thailand.
Yeah, that's right. So that was an option about a week ago or 2 weeks ago where you could start to put in the paperwork to move or update.
I don't know if he'll move them, but I mean, it would fit in right there with all that.
Yeah. And our last stir the pot says, dropping 9 people into coverage was gay, is still gay, and will always be gay. Come on, man.
That's hilarious.
All right. I'll let you figure
it. You're dropping 9 in coverage if you call in cover 3, man.
I don't know, man.
If you're not cover 3, I'm sorry. If you're playing 3-4, you got 9 covered.
9 with a spy.
10 is kind of where you, I don't know. Anyway, just run the ball, man. People need to run the ball. Everybody I know who doesn't like people dropping people in the coverage don't like to run.
Yeah. There's certainly something to it. That'll get them out of that 9 and 10 minute
I love to see dollar, dime, stuff like that. I love to see it, but you don't see it that much. I get 4-4, 4-6, almost all the time.
Yeah. Well, Monk, I think we had a great time today on the show catching up. It was 2 weeks away. I appreciate the knowledge. And we're at the midpoint, season 1. So we're looking for a strong second half. And maybe we'll get to call a game one. Somebody said maybe we should call a game. I think that'd be hilarious.
that would be fun. I would love to do it. But yeah, we're moving to the second half of the season. This is where half of our users really start playing hard, and half of our users start missing games.
Looking for the draft. Yeah. Right? And
so, but it'll be fun. I know you and me are both in that group of people who are looking at the home stretch at the time when we got to turn it up. So it'll be fun.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. This is SML Chalk Talk, October 4th, 2016, and we're out of here. Have a great day, guys.
Yes, sir. Take care, brother.
Later.